What is up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at DJ Chark and his 2020 fantasy outlook for what we can expect from him. Hit that subscribe button for more videos like this one, and let's get right into it. So last year, breaking out massively onto the scene with 73 receptions, over 1,000 receiving yards, and 8 total touchdowns. Did miss one game due to an ankle sprain, was limited in a few others due to that injury as well. Prevented him from having an even better season than the one that he had, but no one was expecting what he provided last year. 225.8 fantasy points, enough for 17th position, averaging over 15 points per game, putting him down at 19th. Now, had pretty much died in the eyes of fantasy owners after basically doing nothing in his rookie year. Was probably the most surprising of all the breakouts. Either his or Devontae Parker's last year would have been among the top of the list of wide receivers that nobody was considering for a potential breakout into 2019. Now, heading into 2020, not really much has changed. They did add Laviska Shenault, but his profile is a different type of receiver than DJ Chark, so we're not really expecting their targets to be clashing that much. I don't really expect Laviska Shenault to command such a target share that it hinders DJ Chark's upside. Obviously, last year had a bit of a up and down season. Obviously, multiple weeks where he doesn't finish as a wide receiver 3, and again towards the end of the year dealing with that ankle sprain. Part of the reason had him finishing the year so poorly, but leading up to that point, comes out and plays really well against Kansas City in his first week, and then from that point still manages to have a total of 4 wide receiver 1 weeks, a few more wide receiver 2 weeks, and then obviously having multiple games scoring over 30 points gives you that massive upside. Had a really high target share amongst the Jaguars receivers, and with D.D. Westbrook still there, not really that much competition in terms of targets. Tyler Eifert, not really expecting to do much there at all. Gave Leonard Fournette 100 targets last year, so that's probably going to come down. So DJ Chark has plenty of room to grow, at least in terms of volume. And when we look at some of the stats from last year as well, there's definitely some room for growth. So finishes with a good amount of deep targets, 25 overall, which is 14th best among receivers. His target accuracy rating was pretty poor at 6.82, 66th best. Gardner Minshew could take a little step forward in this department this year. That would definitely help DJ Chark a bit. Finishes with 117 targets. That is, I wouldn't call that his floor, but he's probably going to hit somewhere near there again this year. Only a 62.4% catch rate, even though he had 0 drops in the entire year. So having a increased accuracy for his targets would really benefit him a lot and give him some more production, even if the targets do come down. Finished with 31.4% dominator rating, which is the metric of the team's total yards and touchdowns scored. Pretty high for a receiver at number 13, and 727 completed air yards, 21st in the NFL. So definitely some room for improvement for DJ Chark. We're expecting pretty similar stats overall for the entire year, and obviously, as we've mentioned in our other Jaguars videos, not to keep harping on it, but we don't expect the Jaguars to be a very good team, but there's going to be plenty of room for garbage time for DJ Chark, plenty of room for him to continue to develop in his second year playing with Gardner Minshew. So have him finishing with 78 receptions, 1,072 receiving yards, and 7 total touchdowns, but definitely carries plenty more upside. He played better in the games with Gardner Minshew, and obviously now that there's not the additional stress of having to go back and forth between multiple quarterbacks throughout the year, could be an even better season for DJ Chark. And he's so cheap right now. You can typically get him in the 5th, sometimes even as late as the 6th round in draft. So really giving a lot of credence to the early running back strategy, the robust running back strategy this year, given the fact that you can typically get guys like DJ Chark in the 5th round or later. And honestly, is one of the better targets this year. For some reason, there's just a massive hatred of Jaguars players in the draft right now, and I think that's somewhat warranted for a guy like Leonard Fournette, but it really doesn't make sense for me for DJ Chark. He is one of the few receivers that was able to break out for over 1,000 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns by his second season, so there's not really much, other than Kelvin Benjamin, every receiver that's been able to do that within their first 2 years has been a fantasy stud for many years. So take advantage of the ADP drop, take advantage of the discount that you can get him for this year, and stock up on DJ Chark in plenty of your drafts. Love him as my wide receiver 2. Love him even more as my wide receiver 3, but he gives you plenty of upside and doesn't cost a lot. So definitely a heavy target for best ball and redraft leagues for me this year. And if you can still acquire him in Dynasty for a reasonable price, then that is a good idea to do so now before he has another season. People realize that this is another alpha receiver in the NFL that will be here for years to come. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button for more, and we'll see you in the next one.